wouldn't have wanted a day out in Brighton this weekend. Thousands of teachers certainly did. They were in town for the National Union of Teachers Conference. But while these people relaxed by the seaside, the biggest teaching union was inside, debating pensions, pay and workload. And, if you read between the lines, they were also arguing about whether they want their union to be led by the ultra-left. Turning up to the conference, it's pretty obvious that some unusual political groups are strongly represented. The hard left has now built up a majority on the union's executive. There's an element of the People's Front of Judea and the Judean People's Front to some of it. Groups such as the Socialist Workers' Party, the Socialist Party and the Alliance for Workers' Liberty are well represented. When you get them into the conference hall, many current NUT officials are rather unsubtle about their radicalism. Not even their language is moderate.
Michael Gove, the demented Dalek on speed. He wants to exterminate anything good in education that came along since the 1950s.
I would submit that teachers never lightly withdraw their labour.
This former NUT General Secretary fought the hard left for his whole career. But, he says, its current domination of the union is something quite new.
When I first came to the union, you had a prominent Conservative who'd been the Treasurer, the President became the Treasurer, you had another one who was President. And within the membership in various parts of the country, some quite strong Conservative membership. They haven't all gone away. What they're not doing is playing as make a part in the union as they used to. I think because of the discontents within the profession and the pressures on the profession and NUT members, because it's still a very large membership, are such that they are not turning out to turning up to meeting and voting election on the scale that they should, which only helps the more extreme left, and the moderate left has lost some ground as well.
Surveys show that teachers are a bit more left of centre than most, but they include a sizable minority of Conservative and UKIP voters. That, however, is definitely not reflected at the NUT. Senior NUT officials say that because their union is the largest teachers' union, that makes them a particular target for some hard left groups.
Would you like a Goes Must Go sticker? Yes?
And things may be about to get more extreme. This summer, the General Secretary, Christine Blower, will need to fight to keep her role. She's on the hard left herself, but is being challenged from her own left wing by Martin Powell-Davies. He's part of the Socialist Party, the group once known as the Militant Tendency.
What we'll be debating this afternoon is my idea, and others who support me, is that you can't simply have occasional one-day protest strikes, that you actually need to step up with a calendar of action and a series of strikes until the government has to take notice, and that's what we're after.
And Mr. Powell-Davies thinks that the public would support longer strikes.
I'd say that if you were in London on the days of the tube strikes, you would actually find that there was a big degree of support, that everybody knows their pay is being cut, their jobs are under threat, and I think people respect people who actually say, well, they're going to stand up for themselves and good luck to them, and that's certainly what we found on the picket lines on March the 26th.
Mr. Powell-Davies is unlikely to win, but debate at the NUT has already become a battle between organised hard left factions. These people, leaping up, are so-called floor managers. They're a sort of whip for one of the factions. They call votes that allow their blocs to manage the pace of debate. Fred Jarvis thinks that, at root, it is union members' lack of interest that is helping to give these groups a free rein.
I mean, in my time, there was hardly ever an occasion when you had candidates returned unopposed, but this time there are about 20 returned unopposed, some of them from the ultra-left.
I mean, this is reminiscent to me of sort of student politics.
Not in my time. When I ran the NUS, I ran against the communists and we beat them.
The union's revolutionary zeal has already led several prominent NUT moderates to leave in exasperation. More strikes and militancy, they say, will just start to upset parents. And they point out that while the NUT has picked fights on things like pensions and pay, It really isn't winning them. They ask, who exactly are they representing?